female, 18. I'm looking for a career that I can just jump into without going to college. In your opinion, is real estate a good option for me? I really just want to go straight into working, but also have a career that I can build up long term. I don't know. What do we think?
Well, I think it's a great question and definitely something to think about. One thing that I was always told in real estate when I jumped into it is your paycheck is 30 to 60 days down the line from getting under contract. So if you already have buyers or sellers lined up willing to work with you, that's great. But you have to remember that your paycheck is that far down the line. So that's one thing I would think to consider.
Yeah, because I think statistically it takes 180 days to see your first paycheck for brand new agents.
Yeah.
Of course, there's exceptions.
Well, I guess my question would be, are you living at home? And can you do that and survive? And do you know, if I was 18 again and I was maybe living in my parents' house still, I would definitely jump into it. If you had that runway to work with. If you don't have that runway, then you're going to probably have to wait a little bit to count on income.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think if you have some reserves or have someone that can help you with some startup costs and supporting you, because at 18, you likely don't have massive bills. I think 18-year-olds right now have a huge advantage over some other age ranges. Of course, I'm not an ageist, but the youth have technology on their side that they have grown up with and are very skilled at. And I've seen some younger agents, 18 to 22, just absolutely dominate the market because they just kind of have a leg up by utilizing and leveraging some technology that maybe some of us, even myself included, a little bit elder agents don't have it. I'm considered young to some extent, but they are way more advanced than I am. So startup costs. So I usually tell agents to prepare, kind of having the bank just for their startup costs. So you've got to do your education, which there's several different platforms, but roughly you're going to be spending anywhere from $350 to $500 on your course package. Then you have to take your exams, get fingerprinted, and if you pass on the first time, you only pay the one course fee, but sometimes it can take anywhere from 1 to 3 times to pass that course, so you have to factor in those prices. And then, which I think, how much is the test? I think, who took it last?
I thought it was like 150-ish.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And then getting fingerprinted is like 80, maybe?
I thought it was more like 50.
I think it was $68.
Okay.
That's the number that's in my head. But,
It's been so long. How do we forget things in like a couple of years?
Oh God, well, and costs change. So I think what I've done in the past, I've usually told people like I would have $1,000 sort of way just to get licensed. You might want to, depending on if you set up your LLC first or not, but that's kind of a baseline to have saved up to get your license, get your fingerprint, take your exams, and jump through some of those hoops.
And then you'll have to get the MLS fees too.
MLS,
yep, all your SAO.
association.
Association.
If you need lock boxes, depending on if your brokerage provides those or not. Gosh, this can go on and on. But
yeah, I think 1,000 would still cover that, depending on how you here, at least in our area. So
yeah, that's good.
Then if you're even, let's say you're not even 18, but any age should factor in, you need to have your reserves. And I would tell people minimum, you should probably have 3 months worth of bills in the bank, like minimum. Most people I think recommend 6 because of you might not be closing your first deal. And then even when you do close your first deal, you have your any splits factored into, and then you need to set aside like 30% ish for taxes, which is a little high, but I think it's safe. And then any expenses you incurred, and then the rest is your take home. But it's not just cash money right away unless you're fortunate or pretty dialed in.
And I mean, even the aspect where if they do want to get into it, go in as an assistant, they still get their license and they work under another person at that age. I mean, they'll absorb a ton of information at that point. Learn from somebody who has a ton of experience. And so, I mean, it would hands down be a great.
In hindsight, I think I regret not starting sooner. I should have done it way sooner. So
It can be very rewarding. If you'd started earlier. Be a lot further along.
But with that, I definitely think mentorship is going to be really helpful. Like align yourself with a more seasoned agent to learn from and grow from. Then you can bring your new ideas and experiences and maybe even help that, elder, more experienced agent out. But then also you'll be able to absorb a lot of the things that takes time to learn from experience.
I think mentorship, even for like us right now, it's always important, like educating yourself, learning more. But I think at the beginning, when people come to me and be like, hey, I want to invest in real estate, that would be like one of the very first things I would say. Hey, are you willing to invest or buy time? And what I mean by time is like, get with somebody that's already went through all the lessons, spent the money, and learned their way, and then kind of get a foundation of how they do it and how you want to do it. And a couple years of that, you can really be on your way to making a career in real estate. So.
Yeah.
So in short, I think we would say yes, it's a great career for anyone to jump into, and even if you're 18. And I think the most important thing is just getting prepared and making sure your finances are in line and you have a timeline and set some goals. I think the biggest thing is by failing to plan, you're preparing to fail. So if you don't have a plan and have your budget in line, that's where a lot of the crux can be for a lot of folks. So